Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm continuing to work on my pocket idea reference junk journal, and it's just going to be a little bit quicker video today. I only have like 2 pages to do. I'm just pressed for time and have a couple other things I need to get done today. But I thought I would show you guys the idea, and again, this is not a new idea by any means, is library cards. And I thought in my idea journal, I want to put one just to remind me that you can recycle and use library cards. Like if you take them, if you buy a book like at the thrift store and it was one that originally belonged in a library, you can sometimes pull out one of the fly pages that has the library pockets in it. And my mom has kind of gotten into the habit of every time she like buys books at the thrift store, if they happen to have a library pocket in it that she can easily take out, she takes them out for me. And so I just wanted, first of all, to put a recycled library pocket into my idea journal. And then I think we're also going to make one together just to show you how easy they are to make your own if you don't have a recycled one to put in. Or you can also, I have seen where you can buy like blank library pockets. Sometimes I have had them in the past where I used to buy them at the craft store. And I know you can also, there's a die cut out there on the market. There's a couple different ones. And so you can also buy die cuts that would cut out the pocket and the library card. I do happen to have one rubber stamp of a library card, and this one comes from close to my heart. It's an older one. I don't know that you can still buy this one or not, but it is called Library Cards if anyone is interested in that name of that one, if you want to try to look for it on eBay or something. But anyways, no matter which way you want to do it, works great. But I will make one from scratch, and I'm also going to put this one in. So I'm going to just go ahead and glue this one. This was one that my mom took out for me. And I'm just going to leave it as is. And then I'll move on to making our own. And this one I think I'm going to just glue because she left it on the page that it was on when she cut it out for me. So I might need to put a little bit more glue in between the library pocket and this other page that she has. And of course, when you glue them on, if you want to, you could glue it on so that you could make a tuck spot or a pocket behind it. This one I'm just gluing as is, but I might make it into a tuck spot or another pocket on the other one behind it when I create my own. So again, I'm just kind of labeling everything. So I'm just calling this one a recycled library pocket, just so I have names for things. So of course that one was super easy to do. Didn't have to do any work on that one. So obviously if you have a store-bought one, or even, I know a lot of like junk journal digital kits even have ones too that you can cut out and put into your journals too. So that's another option. So I did stamp that stamp that I had, just so I have this one, because I did play around with this one earlier because I was trying to figure out what measurements I needed to make a pocket. And so I did take notes of that. But I thought kind of the standard size usually for library pocket cards is 3 by 5. So I thought that that's what we would make. And here's one again that my mom had pulled out. I don't know which one of these fit in there, but and this one's a little bit different library pocket than like this one where it was longer in the back, but I'll show you guys how to kind of do that. This one I would probably start with a page that was 12 inches long if you want the back to kind of look like that. But what we're going to do on this one is I have a sheet of paper, and let's measure it here. I think this one will fit the 3 by 5 cards. So this one measures 4.5, and this is 8.5 inches long. And so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to just put it on my scoreboard, and that's just for just make it easier. So I'm going to, on each side, on the long side, I am going to just go in a 1/2 inch and score. And I'm just going to kind of fold those in just real quick here. So that's how you start making your library pocket, is you just score in a 1/2 inch. And then the next thing is to decide, like if you're using just one-sided paper, what you want showing. So like on the background part here, do you want the pink showing or do you want the white showing with the pocket here? Or like this, where I'd probably go like this, because then you can still layer a piece of paper here and decorate, or you could decorate back there too. So I'm going to do it this way. And right here, you just need to decide how big you want your pocket for your next fold. So where do you want your card to stick up? Do you want it, you know, just a little bit like that showing? Do you want more showing? So this one, there really isn't a magic number for where you want to fold it. You know, usually I say about, oh, maybe 3.5 or so is about what I usually like. At least 3 inches, which would be right there. If you want more of that showing, or 3.5 would be a little bit less. So let's just do 3 inches because that kind of looked nice with this one. So that's approximately 3 inches where I am folding. So this is 3 inches. And so now we have kind of what looks like this. You can see the folds and everything. And so the next step is we are going to cut off. So right where this fold is that we just did, I'm just going to go in just that 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm kind of separating these two. And then we're going to cut out these pieces if you want, or you can just fold them back, because I'm thinking if I make a pocket, yeah, no, we're going to cut these off. What you could do is you could just leave them and then glue these down like on your journal page. So where did I put my journal page? So like if this is my journal page, you know, I could glue these down and then I still have this to tuck around and glue back there. So then I still have my library pocket. So you could leave those there if you want the little extra space behind there. But I think technically most people, or if you're following the same way that you would actually make a library card, they cut these out. So we're going to go ahead and cut out the top part. So again, here's the long one. Here's the bottom fold that goes fold up. You leave these tabs on, but these ones we're going to cut off. So I'll kind of hold it up close so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So hopefully I can cut somewhat straight. So I'm going to cut that off again on the other side. So, and I didn't cut very straight on that one. So this is what it kind of looks like. And the only thing I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I'm going to corner around the top up here. I just think that looks a little neater. All right, so here's what it looks like. And we still have those folds right here. And then it's really easy. So you're just going to bring this fold up again, and you can either glue it on the inside. You can put glue right here and glue it right there, or you can wrap it around the back and glue it on the back side. It's kind of your choice what you want to do. If you glue it this way, there's still quite a bit of room to stick your card in, or if you do it this way too, there's quite a bit of room to put stuff in. So usually if you look at an original library card, you're going to see that they glued it on the back side. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, is just glue it on the back side. And if for some reason you're tabs don't fold over correctly, just slice off a little bit more. Like mine's, I didn't cut super straight, so I'm just going to slice off just a little bit more here, just to make it a little more straight. Just cutting off a sliver. And the other thing you can do is, I've seen some people do is, you can also angle these little pieces right here if you want, but it's not necessary. But sometimes that helps a little bit with the gluing process, especially if you're going to glue it on the inside. It helps if you angle it a little bit. But again, I'm just going to put mine on the back side. So again, here's what it looks like. I'm going to fold this up. And I have those little tabs or wings on the sides. Fold them on the back side. And I'm going to put some glue right here. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right on this one. And fold it over. And we got your basic library pocket. I think that's really cute. I'm going to see if I have any scraps here that I could, of something that I could just put here. Just to decorate this one real quick. I just kind of feel like it's kind of boring. And again, in this journal, I'm not doing too much decorating, and this is just more of an idea journal. But a couple times like this, I just kind of feel like I need a little bit extra. But normally, if I was using this in the journal, I would go ahead and stick like a little cluster, or I would stick a little piece of ephemera also on top of this. But I do just want to decorate that a little bit. If you wanted to, you could also put a little notch in the pocket. If you wanted it notched, you could just use your little circle punch and create a little notch. But I'm not going to do that on this one. So that'll fit a 3x5 library pocket very nicely. And again, if you had, like this one, again, I started off with an 8.5, or yeah, it was 8.5 inches long piece of paper. But if you had a longer one, you could even have a longer backside. Or you could also cut it down if you're like, oh, I don't want it this long. You could take your scissors and just chop it off right there too. So it's just, these kind of pockets I think are really forgiving, just because there's a lot of variation with them. And let me find this journal page that we have here, because I'm going to go ahead and glue this one in. And I'm going to glue it on just two sides, because I do want to make it, or I'm going to glue it here and here, because I do want to make it a tuck spot in this page. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But you could make it into a pocket by putting glue here, and then you can still stick another item in here. But I'm going to do this as a tuck spot, because I do want to tuck in. So I did write kind of my own little, I've been doing this just so I remember where I fold things. I did do a little graph paper, and I did my 8.5 here, and I did 4.5 wide, and this one I think I had it scoring at like 3.5, but we did 3. And then also the 1/2 inch scores on the sides, and then cutting out those two pieces on the side. That's just my little notes that I'm going to keep on this one. So I'm going to tuck that behind here. So if I need to remember how to make it, I have that. Then the other thing I did, because I do take little notes, because I do have this library card that I use quite a bit in my journals, I did also, so I did the 3x5 measurements for my paper starting size, which is 4.5 inches wide by 8.5 long. But if I wanted to use this library card, I figured it out, and I need to start off with something that's 4 1/4 inches wide, and I started off with an 8.5 inch long one also, but you can cut it down just depending upon the size. So I did also put my little notes in this one. So I'm going to stick that in here also, just so I have that note. And then I might as well just go ahead and stick this shorter one in there, since I stamped it, because I did know that I wanted to try and figure out my measurements. And, you know, some other day I'll probably stamp this one and figure it out, because this one's going to be even smaller. But what I found, though, is if you start off with like a card this size and you want to make your own template, you want it at least a little over 1/2 inch on each side to make it so that it fits. So that's how you figure out your width, if that makes sense. So when I had this one, I did 4 1/4 inches wide, because I just added a little bit over, you know, 1/2 inch to each side of this. And I added a little, just, you know, maybe another 1/8 inch, just to make sure that I had that little bit extra so that it would fit in the pocket. So I had that little note, and again, those are just my own little personal notes that I've been adding to things. If you guys are playing along with me, make sure you guys add your own little notes to your pages for what makes sense. And then on this one, I'm just calling this a library pocket. And I might as well just put it right here in the middle of this one. So that is everything that I have to share with you guys today. And I do apologize. I have a lot more ideas. And I will be back again next week with a few more pocket ideas. I just didn't have a lot of time today to work on a video, so I wanted to do kind of a quick and easy one. So let me know what you guys think. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.